Let's solve the same example using preemptive method. Okay. So this is our Gantt chart. It will always start with 0. From 0 to 1 milliseconds, there are no processes available in the ready queue. That's why the CPU will remain idle from 0 to 1 milliseconds. At 1 milliseconds, P1 is arriving, so put it in the ready queue. Okay. At 1 millisecond, P1 will be scheduled to the CPU. So it will run exactly for 1 more millisecond. 1 plus 1, 2. Okay. So this will be changed to 4 because it has already taken 1 millisecond of its burst time. So at 2 milliseconds, again we are going to check, are there any other processes which are in the ready queue? Yes. At 2 millisecond, P2 is also arriving. That's why put it in the ready queue. Now we are going to compare P2's priority number with P1 priority number because P1 is already executing, right? P2 with P1. P2 has the highest priority than P1. That's why P2 will be scheduled next. And again it will run for 1 more millisecond. 2 plus 1, 3. Again it has taken 1 millisecond already. That's why it will be updated to 3. Now at 3 millisecond, are there any other processes in the ready queue? Yes, we have P4 in the ready queue. Again, priority number of P4 will be compared with priority number of P2. Okay. So P4 has 3 and P2 has 1. So since P2's priority number is greater than P4, we are not going to switch the process. That's why P2 will again continue till 1 more millisecond, that is 4 milliseconds. Change this to 2. Okay. Now at 4 milliseconds, are there any other processes which are newly arriving? Yes, P3 is arriving. Again we are going to check priority number of P3 with P2. P3 with P2. Since again P2 has the highest priority than P3, again P2 will continue. Now you can observe one thing, that is by the time of 4 milliseconds all the processes are available in the ready queue. So from this time onwards, this method will exactly act as non-preemptive method. It will act as non-preemptive method. So now we are not going to check are there any processes which are coming in the ready queue because we know that all the processes are available in the ready queue. No new processes is going to come in the ready queue. That's why P2 will execute for 4 plus 2, 6 milliseconds. Since P2 has completed its execution, take it out from the ready queue. Now among P1, P4 and P3, who has the highest priority or who has the least number? It is P1. That's why we are going to schedule P1. Since no new processes are arriving, P1 will complete its execution. 6 plus 4, 10. Since it has completed its execution, please strike it out. Now we are remained with P4 and P3. Among P4 and P3, both have the same priority number, right? In such cases, we should see the arrival time of both of them. Since P4 is arriving first, we are going to give more priority to P4. So P4 will execute for 3 milliseconds. 10 plus 3, 13. And then finally P3 will be scheduled. That is for 2 milliseconds. 13 plus 2, 15. 15 milliseconds. Strike it out. Our final Gantt chart. So you can observe from preemptive method and non-preemptive method, the final time remains same. This 15 milliseconds, both the methods take exactly the same amount of time, 15 milliseconds. So if you are getting some other number, then it surely means that you have gone wrong somewhere. Okay, that is the one thing. As you all know how to calculate turnaround time, waiting time and response time, I am not going to explain it again. But remember one thing, here response time is not same as waiting time because it is preemptive method. In preemptive method, response time and waiting time may not be same.